Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George, and if this is your first time here, or you've been here before and haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And also, drop your comments, love the comments, and the thumbs ups. Very important. Appreciate the support. And basically, this game, this was a rough recap. In fact, I already recorded one before, and something was wrong with the sound, and I wanted it to be shorter than the other ones. And that one ended up being almost 25 minutes. So I'm glad I get an opportunity to redo this for you guys. Because this game, let's just jump right in it, man. Look at that. Knicks drop. Another game. At the Garden. To the Orlando Magic. 104-98. Wow. This was painful. This was incredibly painful. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to run through the stats and give you my breakdown on the game. And then at the end, I'm going to propose something that I'd actually already shared in the pregame show with Keese. I have an idea that hopefully might help with this team. Well, look at this. Here's the game flow. The Knicks, at the end of the first half, they surrendered the lead. And then they came out and once again, surrendered the lead. And they went through a 5-minute and 2-second stretch where they couldn't score a bucket. 5 minutes. Luckily, the Magic only scored 9 points during that 5 stretch. So that's one thing. The defense was better this time. But man, 5 minutes. That just hurts so much. Look at I can't believe that they could go cold like that for so long. Oy. Look at that. There it is. There's a close-up of it. That's the third quarter for you. And you can see right there at the end of the see that gray line right there to the left? That's the end of the half. And that's when the Magic took that lead. And you see how we battled back. We tied it. Kind of came close to tying it. And then nothing. Nothing all the way through until in the fourth quarter, somehow these Knicks took the lead. And then guess what they did? They surrendered it again. They surrendered the lead and we lost 104-98. I am, to put it mildly, disgusted, demoralized. However, I'm going to give you a glass half full and a glass half empty POV. My point of view on it. The glass half full is, okay, one thing, just to shout, we got to shout him out because Burks in the fourth quarter returned to being the assassin that we've known him to be. And if it weren't for Burks in the fourth quarter and for Obi Toppin in the fourth quarter, we wouldn't, and Immanuel Quickley, once again, the bench, we would not have had a chance to even get back in this game. So those three were instrumental in helping spark, again, the comeback. And there were some decisions made. In fact, in the fourth quarter, JD tweeted, he didn't tweet it, he texted me asking, do we think it's a good move, bringing Rose back in? And at the time, I thought it was. Because Rose is a closer, even though he was having a rough game, he's a closer. You know, he had that nice little floater, right-handed floater the last game that helped seal that win. So I thought, you know what, this is a good idea. But he came in for Obi. So then the lineup was Burks, Rose, IQ, RJ, and Randall. Those were the 5. And unfortunately, it didn't work. It did not work. It was really disheartening. But Obi Toppin is another positive. His play has been outstanding, but I will get back to him on that. I want you guys, okay, before we look at that, let's go back over here. This is the whole, look at this. Randall, 13 points, only took 11 shots, but 10 of them were 3-point attempts. He didn't go to the basket. I don't know, it was the length of the Magic. I think it was, Mo Bamba's got some nice size, Wendell Carter Jr., and then the Wagner brothers. I think it must have disrupted Randall's ability to drive. He wasn't himself. And look, 5 rebounds, only 3 assists in 32 minutes. He played 32 minutes. So it's not like he only played 25 minutes and he gave us that performance. That's pretty shocking. But look at Mitch. Mitch played a really nice game. Also instrumental in that fourth quarter. Unfortunately, he got injured and left the game. Once again, his the weekly the game night heart attack that he gives us all. But he had a double-double, 13 points, 11 rebounds. And RJ Barrett somehow ended up being the high scorer of the game, even though he was a total dumpster fire for the first 3 quarters, along with Burks. The first 3 quarters, Burks was 1 for 7 to give us 2 points. But in that fourth quarter, he was 4 of 9, and all 4 of those shots were 3-point shots that he made. He was 4 of 7 from behind the arc. And he gave us he finished with 15 points. Yeah, RJ Barrett was the leading scorer, 17 points. Didn't hit any of his 3-point shots. I think the whole team was hitting the front rim on their 3-point attempts for a good long stretch. And they were cold for most of the game until that fourth quarter. So maybe, I don't know, maybe they had a really intense practice the night before or the day before. And that kind of, I don't know, they looked tired. Their legs weren't there. But they are giving a lot of effort on the defensive end. I will say that they did play a better game defensively. 32.7% from behind the arc, 42% overall. I want you to look at that field goal attempts stat there. Only 88 field goal attempts. And we'll get back to that. But real positive, another half full positive thing was the ball movement of the second unit, 25 assists. And RJ with 5, Burks with 4, and IQ with 7. IQ had some beautiful passes. He played an outstanding game in general. IQ did. Let's look at the plus minus, because that really helps tell the story for this game. Randall minus 21, but look at Mitch, a plus 8. Walker a minus 3. Oh man, Walker was a minus 3. Fournier a minus 1. But that really doesn't even help really tell the story of what actually happened. And RJ was a minus 2. Obi, plus 11. Taj, I don't know what happened. He didn't come back in the game. Not sure what happened, but he was a minus 5. But look at Derrick Rose. Rose tonight, as Foxy tweeted out, Rose wilted tonight. He was a minus 11 in the plus minus. And it showed. He made some bad turnovers. He had 5 turnovers tonight. 5 for Derrick Rose. Wow. You're just not going to win many games when you have 5 turnovers from your best player. He's been our best player through this whole stretch. That's nasty. RJ had 3 turnovers and Randall had 3 turnovers. That third quarter was just terrible. I mean, there was a straight Randall, not only did he have 3 turnovers, he also committed ridiculous fouls that he should not have. And that ended up giving the ball to the Magic. More opportunities for them. You could tell I'm really disgusted with this, man. Here's the team stats. So we took 88 shots. They took 96. They had 8 more field goal attempts, and that is just from hustle. That is from the 6 additional rebounds right there. They had 3 additional offensive rebounds. And they just look at the turnovers. The 18 turnovers, they had 15. That killed us. But the assists were nice. I even as I look at this again for a second time, it hurts. It hurts still. It still really hurts. But look at the 3-point attempts. 49 3-point attempts. We hit 16 of them for 32.7%. There's a lot of people out there, and you'll hear it in other post-game shows, complaining about the amount of 3-point attempts. That's totally wrong. That's totally wrong. You cannot win in the NBA, and I've said it a million times, in today's NBA, if you don't keep shooting the 3. What would have happened if we had stopped shooting the 3? If we went away from the 3, would we have won this game? No, we would not have come back in. We were able to come back because of the 3-point shots. Bear that in mind. They got hot in the fourth. In fact, let's go to the fourth right now. I'm going to show you some stats here. Here's the fourth quarter. The Knicks scored 31 points in the fourth. Their most points that they scored all game. They only scored 18 points in the third quarter. That is appalling. But they scored 31 points in the fourth quarter. 8 of those were from RJ, 13 of them from Burks, and Obi gave us 8 also, and Mitch gave us 2. Those were all the scorers in the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, I think if Mitch had not gotten hurt and left the game, I think the Knicks might have been able to hang on and win this game. That's the feeling I'm getting. So you see Burks, like I said, he shot 4 of 7 from behind the arc, and Obi hit 2 of his 3 3-pointers. If Obi actually, his 3-pointer looked good, the first one that he missed, and then he hit the next 2, it just changes everything. Changes the whole dynamic of the game when he hits those. And then he had some nice, he had some nice dunks. He had some nice alley-oops. He was all over the place. Actually, no, he had only one. Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, he did. Sorry, I got lost. But look at RJ. RJ came back in the game. He came back in the game and hit 4 of 5. Didn't hit his 3-pointer, but that was a big. He made some big buckets for these Knicks to help them claw back into it. Randall played 3 minutes and 42 seconds in the fourth quarter. He was a -9. Derrick Rose played 3 minutes and 55 seconds, 0 for 2, -9. That's it. When Thibs made the choice to bring Randall and Rose back into the game, the chemistry of that group that was on the floor just got shattered. And that was it. Now, like I said, I thought bringing in Rose was a smart move, bringing back Rose, but it didn't turn out that way. So sometimes you got to risk. But here's another half-full positive thing. Thibs is looking at different combinations. Like he mentioned that he was going to do that, but he's actually doing it. That is a very good thing. But I want him to go farther. I want him to go much farther. And this will take me to the next part and lead me to the end. And I will wrap this up because I want to keep this one somewhat brief. All right. Here, okay, so let's just run through this really quick. Look, all 5 of their starters were in double digits. Cole Anthony actually hit 10 rebounds and 7 assists, but he didn't shoot that well. So, and then look, of course, Ross always burns us. He got 19 points. That was a sneaky 19. I didn't really notice that he didn't feel like he was impacting the game like the way he did the last game that we lost. Ugh. All right, here begins my final summation on what the Knicks should do, what Thibs should look at doing. So Tommy Beer, I show his tweets often because guy's brilliant. Love the guy. Evan Fournier has been benched for the entire fourth quarter in 6 of the Knicks' last 7 games. Fournier has played 5 out of a possible 84 total fourth quarter minutes during this 7-game stretch. He's only played 5 minutes in the fourth quarter in the past 7 games. Okay? Remember that. Now look at this box score. This is the halftime box score from the previous night's game between the Warriors and the Nets that took place in Brooklyn. That game when they chanted MVP for Steph Curry. Count how many players. How many Warrior pairs of sneakers touched the floor in that game, in that first half? 13 players. Now, Toscano didn't even get a full minute, so that means he probably played like 8 seconds, 9 seconds or whatever. But they show him in there, or else he would have been a DMP. So, if Kerr can find minutes on a tight game, it was 63-58 at the half. If he can find minutes for his rookies, Thibs, you can find minutes for Grimes, and once Deuce comes back, and that's another positive. The Deuce was awesome. Deuce played for Westchester Knicks tonight in the G League. He scored 25 points, 9 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals. And Lucas Samanek, he scored 32 points on 12 of 24 shooting in 32 minutes and grabbed 10 rebounds. That's also from a Tommy Beer tweet. So, keep going, Thibs. Get Grimes on the court. We should have seen Grimes, actually, because luckily Burks did catch fire in the fourth quarter, but before that, he wasn't. So, it would have been nice to have seen Grimes play. Now, Deuce wasn't on the bench to play tonight, but let's get him back. Use the rookies. They're tools that can be turned into weapons to help us win games. Extend the rotation, Thibs. Extend it, please. All right. Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin, here's my proposal. In the Knicks Fix and Mix video that I put out, which you guys haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out. I proposed swapping out Kemba and Fournier for Rose and IQ. Just switch the backcourts. And that would be the winning formula. Because when Rose, IQ, Julius, and RJ are on the court together, they're fantastic. They're fantastic. And then you can, Mitch is a great 5 because then you get that, you have the rim protection. However, if you want to keep Rose coming off the bench and keep him with that second unit, you still got to make some kind of change. We can't keep waiting for Fournier to figure it out. Let him do it with less pressure against weaker competition, the other team's bench. Bench Fournier and start Obi at the 3. Okay? Now, why would this work? RJ becomes the 2. RJ will cook the smaller, because he's larger than most guards, so he'll cook the guards, and no 3 can keep up with Obi. Imagine that. And that's the benefit of having Obi and Randall on the court together. Now, with your lack of rim protection concerns, well, then you just keep Mitch in the starting lineup. Or when, Nerlens is healthy, maybe you want to bring... But Mitch had a nice game, and he's working his way through his conditioning issues, and he complained about his shoes, so I think that insole that he has in there to protect his foot that got operated on, that's bothering him. And you heard it in the broadcast. Clyde even said when an athlete can't get the right shoes, they're not comfortable, it's really difficult to play that way. So he's trying to play through it because he has to have that right now, but he also has the extra weight, so that's the double whammy. But even still with that, he gave us a double-double tonight. And Obi Toppin, he matched his career high tonight with 14 points. You go with that 5, and also what's great is you keep Kemba in the first unit, because what's nice is instead of bringing 2 guys from the bench and disrupting that chemistry too much, you only bring 1. You keep Rose on there with IQ, that nice little dynamic that they have going, and they still have Burks, which is excellent. And now Fournier is going to get some of that burn. That's what I want to see. I think that would be the nice interim solution for the starting lineup to give them a jolt of energy right off the bat, because what he does is special. It's just, you just don't see it that much. Is he still a little raw in certain areas? Yes, but his defense is so much better than Fournier's. So much better. I think we got to try this. That's my idea. I want to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts. You guys drop your comments and hit the thumbs ups, and please subscribe. And this weekend, I want to see a back-to-back sweep. The Knicks get back on a roll and work these issues out. They're going to have 2 nights off in a row, 2 days off in a row, not off, but non-game days. Hopefully Thibs will have them in there, and they'll be working on these things, and they will deliver big W's this weekend. All right, well, thanks so much for watching this, and also stay tuned for the pregame shows that we're going to do with Keith. Going to continue doing those this weekend. All right, thanks so much, guys. It was a rough loss, but don't lose hope on this team, as demoralizing as this was. All right, I will see you around the Knicks-Verse.